8 teams are getting ready to compete for the FWA tag team titles, while 8 men are gearing up for a war that could define the destiny of the entire British wrestling industry. The final participant in that big main event is about to be announced right here on Frontline. I'm Dave Bradshaw. Thanks for joining me again on the road to the Art of War, which is set for Sunday, the 20th of June at Sport Nottingham, a night when the agenda will try to crush the burgeoning FWA resistance in a mouth-watering 8-man main event. And before we go off air today, I will reveal the final member of the FWA team. Trust me, you will not believe who has stepped up to help the resistance. But first, before we get onto that, let's talk about the FWA tag team titles. Those very championships have been responsible for some of the greatest moments in FWA history. Past holders include the likes of Ulf Herman, Andrew Simmons, Styx, former FWA heavyweight champion, the show stealer Alex Shane, and current champion, the Governor, Martin Stone. The titles have of course been vacant since the FWA's return last August, but today, in an FWA Frontline exclusive, I can reveal the 8 teams who will compete for the belts in a tournament set to begin at the Art of War. Let's now take a look at the 8 teams who have been selected to take part in this historic competition. Now, the first team confirmed for the tournament will be no surprise to anyone who's been following British wrestling for the past couple of years. Zack Sabre Jr. and Marty Scurll, collectively the leaders of the new school, have quickly become one of the most exciting tandems anywhere in the country. A combination of their frenetic offense and innovative double team moves have quickly seen them become firm fan favourites in the FWA. Both established singles competitors in their own right, Sabre Jr. and Scurll came into the FWA last summer on a 14-month undefeated streak. That streak shockingly came to an end at the hands of the second team we're about to announce. The combination of CJ Banks and Joey Hayes were somewhat of an unproven commodity when they arrived in the FWA, but they quickly silenced many of their critics with an upset win against the leaders in October at Carpe Diem. Despite having established singles careers, much like the leaders, most industry insiders assumed that this new team, called Northern Exposure, would come up short in their rematch against their southern rivals. But any doubters were proven wrong when, at British Uproar, NX scored a second, decisive pinfall victory over a team who had previously seemed almost unbeatable. On that very same night, another team who many people had thought were unstoppable had their karma come back at them to end a very impressive streak. The duo of Styx and Malin had previously put members of no less than 3 different tag teams in the hospital with their highly controversial finishing move, the Critical Condition. It wasn't long before they had a substantial list of enemies who would come back to haunt them in the closing moments of their heated no disqualification match at British Uproar. On that night, another team who'd been entered into the tournament, Project Ego, justified the reputation that they have built up in many other promotions across the UK. The team of Martin Kirby and Chris Travis combined great technical skill with a rare gift for bending the rules without being caught, and that has made them fan favourites here in the FWA. Now, before I announce the remaining 4 teams in the tournament, I can exclusively reveal that in the first quarter-final in the tournament at the Art of War in Nottingham, the team I've just talked about, Project Ego, will go up against, get this, the leaders of the new school for the first time ever. Now, I'm sure you'll agree this match has the potential to be a perfect slice of the very best of British tag team wrestling, so don't miss your chance to see it live at the Art of War. The next tag team entered into the tournament are without doubt the most high-flying team in British wrestling today. They are Shane Spiral and Flying Ryan, together the Daredevil Dragons. The least experienced team in the tournament, but undoubtedly one of the most exciting duos to emerge for some time, you can bet that the Daredevil Dragons will be prepared to risk it all in pursuit of of their first taste of FWA Tag Team Gold. The next team has become, how can I put this, the odd couple of the FWA. Having received a number of very serious blows to the head in matches against the Vigilante, Johnny Moss, and Styx and Malin, the behaviour of Dave Rain has become somewhat erratic as of late. However, Rain's partner Sam Bailey is quickly becoming one of the most highly rated newcomers on the UK scene. Maybe it is their shared sense of humour as well as their undoubted in-ring chemistry that still makes them a worthy addition to this tournament. The final two teams entered into the tournament will not be having their quarter-final match at the Art of War because they're already embroiled in another war on that same night. The Cartel and their now sworn enemies, Joel Redman and Yestin Reese of The Agenda, are the final four men in the tournament. Now, due to their involvement in that night's main event, both teams have agreed to face each other in their quarter-final and to postpone that match until August 28th, when the FWA comes to the Wolverhampton Civic Hall to present Hope and Glory. Either of these teams could fairly be considered as favourites to win the entire competition, and British wrestling pundits will agree that they are both a tremendous addition to the tournament bracket. The draw for the remaining two quarterfinals in the tag title tournament is being made this coming week, and I'll have that for you here exclusively next week on Frontline. In addition, I hope to have word from FWA management on what their plans are for replacing Bubblegum in the FWA Flyweight title round robin. Now, before I announce the identity of the man who will join the Cartel and Leroy Kincaid to become the final member of the FWA team, I want to take you to some footage that was filmed this past week where Richard Parker caught up with The Agenda and got their thoughts on this historic contest.
Martin Stone, at the Art of War, the four of you have an 8-man tag match against Leroy Kincaid, the Cartel and a partner of their choosing. Your thoughts, please.
At Battle Lines, the four of us made our agenda clear, and that is we are going to make a name for ourselves and make some money. And at the Art of War, you lot better be prepared, because I tell you what, war's just the beginning.
Terry, Shah, Battle Lines was just the beginning of the punishment me and Redman are going to dish out to you two idiots.
You see, actions speak louder than words. And for anyone out there that wants to take on what we've got right here, how about you look at my actions? How about you see what I did to poor Bubblegum? And ask yourself a question. Ask yourself whether you really want to be involved in this war.
Resistance is futile.
Well, the Agenda may indeed believe that resistance is futile, but I, for one, believe there's never been more reason to hope, as I can exclusively reveal that the fourth and final member of the FWA team in that 8-man tag team match is none other than British wrestling legend and TNA star, Doug Williams. If there was ever any doubt about the significance of this big main event match, the addition of Williams to the FWA team removes all of that doubt. This is a match that no British wrestling fan would ever want to miss, and there is no reason to, because you can be there. You can get your tickets for the Art of War, Sunday, June 20th at Sport Nottingham, right now by going to www.fwauk.com. Well, that's just about all we've got time for this week, but before I go, I want to remind you, you have another chance to see the FWA live alongside 60,000 other fans on the weekend of the 29th and 30th of May at London's Excel Centre at the MCM Expo. We'll be talking more about that next week, but for now, I've been Dave Bradshaw, and you've been on the front line.